Hello everybody and welcome to Birdsnest Designs for Tutorial Tuesday here on Facebook Live. My name is Denise Cox and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Canada, and today I am super excited to share with you a super awesome fun fold card called a Gatefold Explosion card. I'm just going to adjust my screen here. I'll give you guys a few seconds to pop on. Okay. Oh, I hope it's, oh, there we go. Okay. So today is Tuesday, June 28th, and on Friday, July 1st, we have some super exciting stuff going on in the Stampin' Up! World. Hi, Tina. Happy birthday. We have the new catalog going live starting on Friday, as well as celebration. Oh, I moved the right way here. So both of these catalogs will be live on Friday. And I'm super excited. Hopefully you guys all have your copies. If you don't, please send me a message if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. If you would like a copy of this current catalog, please send me a message, leave me a comment, and I'll be sure to get one to you ASAP. It's got full of great things. You're not going to want to miss it. So today I'm going to share with you a card created. Oh, my screen just went funny. A card created with the product I've decided to feature this week in my blog, and that is the adorable Hippest Hippos. This is a stamp set that you can purchase. Actually, you don't get to purchase it. You can earn it for free when you purchase $60 worth of product starting on Friday. So this is one of the options you have in celebration. You can choose these adorable Hippest Hippos. Aren't they sweet? And another item that you can choose with a $60 order are the coordinating Hippos dies. So look at all those fun dies. They cut out the images, as you can see, and there's also lots of embellishments and accessories to go along with these cute little hippos. And we're going to be using quite a few of them today too in our video. All right, so what else can I tell you? July is going to be hopping. There is going to be so much stuff going on. My screen is being really silly here. Sorry. Okay, lots going on at Birdsnest Design. So not only do we have the brand new catalogs launching, celebrations starting, but I'm also going to be hosting a number of events, and I'm hoping that some of them will interest you. So the one I'm working on getting out right now is Christmas in July. It's going to be a class to go, and the cards are phenomenal, and it's a great way to get a head start on Christmas cards so that you're not panicking at the last minute when it's time to get them ready. Hello, Carol. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. So as I was saying, lots going on in July. So be sure to keep an eye on your email, check in with my blog, createwithbirdsnest.ca for lots of updates. Check here on Birdsnest Design's Facebook page. I'm going to try and communicate all this excitement as best I can amongst trying to get it all ready and going for you, because it's going to be a great month and Stampin' Up! All right, so let me flip the camera down to my desk and we will get started on making this card. It is a crazy fold card. I'm super excited to share with you. I'm a little bit nervous because creating these more complicated, should I say, cards on video can sometimes be a little bit intimidating, but we're going to do it and it's going to be fun. And I hope you guys are going to learn a new technique, a new fold that you're going to want to try yourselves. So let me flip this down to my desk view now. There we go. Okay. So when you're joining us, say hello. If you're watching the replay, leave me a message and let me know you've watched. I'd love to hear your comments on what you think of this card and these adorable stamp sets. Hello, Carrie and Gail. Thank you for joining us. I'm so happy you guys are here. Okay, here is our adorable card. So this is this cute little hippo I shared with you earlier from the Hippest Hippos stamp set. And you can see I've used a few of the dies. And when we open it up, we have this super fun fold. So it's an explosion gatefold, and it's super easy to create once you get your mind wrapped around the fold, and you're gonna love it. So let me get started on how that's going to work. We're going to switch up the colors today, and we're going to use Highland Heather, where the original card used Petal Pink. Just to show a little bit of variation in how you can really switch this card up. You can switch the stamp up, the colors, and it's going to look phenomenal. So as I go, I'm going to give you instructions. I do have a blog post that'll be going live tomorrow morning, first thing in the morning, and it will have all of the measurements for you, all of the pieces, and this video will be uploaded there as well. So if you miss something, don't worry, you'll be able to find it there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with a 8.5 by 5.5 card base. And as you can see, I've scored it on each end at 2 1/8. So what that's going to do, and we'll do that right now, is it's going to fold both of these flaps into the center. Now you've all seen me make gatefold cards before, I'm sure. It's one of my favorite go-to folds. But we're going to just make that fold like that. Okay, and they meet in the middle, and there's our gatefold. Now to make the really funky and cool explosion part, we need a piece of cardstock. In this case, I've used white. You could also use designer series paper. And this is 8 inches by 4 inches, okay? So the trick to this is the scoring and folding. So let me just bring in my paper trimmer. Now you could use your score tool as well, but you'll see in a minute why I'm using my paper trimmer. So we've got, again, 8 inches by 4 inches. And what I want to do is score this at 2, 4, and 6. So I'm going to put that in my trimmer, and I'm going to line up the one edge. Let me just move these cute little hippo stamps for a moment. So I'm going to put the first edge at 2. And we want to make sure you're using your score blade, not your cutting blade. So that's the light one. We're going to score it at 2. And then we're going to move it over to 4 inches here. And we're going to score it again. And then we're going to move it to 6. Now, 6 is right here along the edge if you have the Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer. If you don't have it, I highly recommend making the switch because it's amazing. So there we go, we've got 6. So you can see that I've scored that 2, 4, and 6. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make X's on each half. So this is the halfway mark. We're going to make an X score line here and here. And watch how I do that using my paper trimmer. So I'm going to put the one corner right here in the track where it's going to score. And then I'm going to maneuver this. Here's my line right there. And I'm going to make sure the corner, the edge of that score line is also in the track. I'm going to close this down and I'm going to score it. Okay, so now we've got one arm of our X. And then I'm going to do the same thing this way. So lining up my middle score line, making sure my corner is also in the track. And we're going, ooh, I almost went for my cutting blade. Don't do that. And we got the score. So there's one side done. Okay, can you see that in the camera? Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So lining up that and that. Now this card idea came from a post that I saw on Connie Stewart, another fellow demonstrator from the United States. On her website, Simply Simple Stamping. And I thought, oh my goodness, I have to try that. It is so cool. So here we go. And then I loved it so much, I thought I wanted to share it with you guys here on Tutorial Tuesday. So there you can see I have both X's scored. That one didn't do a very good score. Let me just, I feel like I let off the pressure as I was chatting with you. So I'm just going to put it back in there and score it one more time. Okay, so now we have this really cool scored piece of cardstock. Now is the folding. So here's our card, what we want it to look like. So what's going to happen is in the center here, we want this diamond. So we're going to fold these both in half like this. Okay, so we folded on those two. And then we're going to fold this one up. So you're folding all of these pieces so far into that center 4-inch score line. Okay. So we've opened it up and we have this and this. Now we want to fold this one in the middle down. Same thing over here. fold this down. And remember, in the replay or when you catch it tomorrow on my blog, you'll be able to pause and so you can, if you're trying to make this on your own, you'll be able to pause it and see exactly what's going on with all these folds. All right, so now what we want to do is we want this to end up folding. This is where it gets tricky, especially when you have a camera right over top of you. Okay, so those are going to be down, and we want this one. So you're going to pinch this here, because that's how you want this to fold in, like that. And then this one you're also going to push in, so they're going to fold together. Okay, and then once you have that done, so basically what I did first was fold on all the fold lines, and then I'm creating these triangles on the side. So we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to push those into the center to make this final one. And then again, we'll just take that, burnish it with your bone fold. Now that's important because you want them to be a nice crisp fold. And then when you open it up, there's your fun fold, right? So watch as we put this together into the card, because it comes to life and it's really, really exciting. So I'm watching the comments. Let me know if you've made a card like this before, what you're thinking. If you have any questions, leave them there. If I miss it while we're live, I'll go back and answer them for sure. So don't be afraid to ask any questions. Okay, there we have our mechanism. We're going to just set that aside for a second. And then we're going to bring in some designer series paper. Now this paper here is the Subtles collection, the 6x6 color collection in the Subtles. And this is, again, Highland Heather. So what I've got here is 2 pieces that measure 1 7/8 by 5 1/4 each. And those are going to be for the front flaps. Okay, so when we get to the front, we're going to attach those on there. I've got one piece here, which is, let me just remember, this one is 2.5. So this is a 2.5 inch square. You need one of those, okay? And then we have 1 3/4 inch squares, and you need 4 in total. Now I've chosen to have 2 and 2. So I've switched up my patterns a wee bit, okay? Oh, I'm glad you guys think this is cool. Awesome. Gail, it's really a fun fold. And when I first thought, I was a little bit intimidated, but then I thought, no, I'm going to try it. And it's actually, like, as you just saw, it's really not that complicated. It's just a matter of getting those folds made. And Carol, if you do try it, I'd love for you to post a picture in our creative corner. I'd love to see it. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in my trimmer again. And all of these squares that I just shared with you, we're going to then cut them in half. Now, what I'm going to do again in my trimmer is line up these 2 corners, making a diamond and making sure the corners are in the tracks. And I'm going to pop that down. And now I have 2 triangles. Origami, yeah, Carrie, I thought the same thing. Okay, so then I'm going to do that for all 4 of the small 1 3/4 ones as well. I'm just going to line them up and cut them in half. So as you can see, this is a great way to create nice straight triangles using your paper trimmer. Of course, if you had a really steady hand and wanted to, you could do it freehand with a pair of scissors, but for me, this is easier and quicker. And I'm really loving, while we're dealing with this paper, I'm loving the patterns they've chosen for these color collections this year. I've used so many. I think I've used more already than I used all in a long time, because I just love the patterns. Okay, so we've got all of those triangles cut. And then we can just take this paper trimmer. I'm going to set it aside because I think we're done with that for now. Okay, let's bring this back in. So now what we're going to do is decorate it. And we're going to put the larger ones, so the 2.5 inch square that we made into triangles, those are going to go on the edges here. Now for me, I want to make sure it's nice and secured. So I'm going to, oh gosh, I'm going to use my multi-purpose glue. And that way I can get it nice and tight into the corners. You only want to use a little bit of this glue. I don't want it to be squirting out on the edges. So I'm going to just put that in. And the other nice thing about that glue is, as I said before, you have a little bit of wiggle room to make sure it's nice and even in there. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to glue these in. And as I'm making this card, my mind is going crazy about all the other fun paper that would really highlight on this kind of fold. It really shows the paper off well, don't you think? So we're going to do that, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just trying to look here. I want to then attach all of these. And I'm going to do a bit of a, oh, I didn't do a very good job. I'm going to do a bit of a pattern on mine. So I'm going to put the gingham over here, the plaid. I guess it's plaid, not gingham. Here. And then I'm going to put that here. And then I'm going to go kind of kitty corner from them. Or diagonally, I guess. It's going to be. So there, we did that one, and then I'm going to put the gingham down here again, or the plaid. I keep calling it gingham. Okay, I'm going to patch that down here. Okay. And one more, and then I'm going to switch to a different pattern. And I'm just trying to get the borders around each of these even, and be mindful that I'm lining them up as best I can on the bottoms and the tops as well with the one beside it. So now we've got these pieces, and we can choose to use the florals or the stripes. I'm really loving this cute little floral pattern, so I'm going to use that. And I love that it's got stripes, because stripes are so versatile. You can use that for anything, just to give it a nice subtle pattern on it. So I'll go ahead and do that. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning of our video, if you missed the very beginning, Friday is July 1st, which is a wonderful day in Stampin' Up, because not only is Celebration starting, but our brand new July to December mini catalog is also starting. And it is so amazing. It's full of so many great products. If you don't already have a copy, and you would like me to send you one, then please leave me a comment or send me a message, and I'll get one in the mail to you or dropped off for you ASAP, because it's so much fun to sit down with a nice cup of coffee or tea and thumb through that beautiful catalog. I've got lots planned for July. I'm working currently on getting the email invitation out for my Christmas in July class to go, and it is a super fun one. So I'm hoping that that'll be out in the next day or so. So watch your email for that. Christmas in July is always fun. All right. So there you can see how beautiful that has highlighted and how it just really brought all that fun fold together. So what I'm going to do just to make sure everything's nice and done is fold it back together and just kind of give it an extra press, make sure all those pieces are laying down nice and flat. And then there's our fun fold again. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I'm going to take this piece here, and I've got this cut to go in the center, and I'm pretty sure it was 2 3/4, but let me just check. Yes, 2 3/4 square. So that's going to get attached right in the center. And this is going to sound really weird coming from me, but I don't suggest using any Stampin' dimensionals on this card, because the fold itself makes the card quite thick. And if you were to put dimensionals in here, it's probably not going to close very well, and it'd probably cost a fortune to send it in the mail. So for once, I'm not going to use any dimensionals. Crazy to hear myself say that. Okay, so there's our center focal point. Okay, now I'm going to have a piece of basic white right here, and this is 2 1/2 inch square. So this was 2 3/4. This is just a 1/4 inch smaller, and it's going to get layered in there. And that's where we're going to stamp our super fun little hippos. So let's get to that first. I do recommend getting this piece all finished before attaching it to your card. It makes it very much easier. So I've got I'm going to color with Stampin' Blends, so that means I need to use my Memento ink pad. And I'm going to stamp this super cute ballerina hippo, because she just is so cute. She's still in my heart. She's adorable. So I'm going to stamp her. Remember, we're doing a diamond, right? We're not making it square. It's a diamond for the center of the card. And I'm just going to stamp that here. And then, what an adorable saying to go along with our cute little ballerina. You're always on point. I love it. It's so cute. So we're just going to stamp that to the side. All right, so now we're going to color this with our Stampin' Blends, or you would color this with your Stampin' Blends. I've gone ahead and colored it ahead of time just to save a bit of time on our video. You guys have all seen me color with blends before. I love them, but here's what it looks like. I've used Gray Granite for her snout here, smoky gray or smoky slate for her head and her body. And then I've used polished pink for her slippers and her little tutu. And I've colored her belly Highland Heather to match the card. I love that we can coordinate those little bellies with whatever project we're making. So again, that's just going to get glued in here. And we're just going to use this glue again and center that nicely on here. Yay, so cute. I just love it. I can't wait to see this purple one all finished because I think purple is really going to highlight this card well. So there's our finished mechanism part for our explosion. This is the explosion part of our fun fold for today. Okay. So now let's bring in our card base. So the first thing I want to do before attaching anything else is to put my white insert in. And that's just going to act as a background. You don't necessarily need to put it in, but I think it really, as you can see on this card, it highlights that background. And it does give you a bit of room to write if you wanted to, but again, it's just kind of like a backdrop for this card. So I'm going to attach that. And for that, I think I'll use my Stampin' seal. And I'm just going to attach that centered in the middle. So the card insert's just like a normal one would be. It's 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, that's that. Now we can go ahead and attach this. Actually, no, you know what? We're going to do the front. We're going to add these first so we don't have any bulk stopping us. So this is going to get attached. I wonder if I want that. On this one, you can see I used the polka dots, but I'm really loving. I think I'm going to switch it up and I'm going to use the plaid on this one. Oh my goodness, I have Stampin' seal everywhere here. So we're just going to attach these again. Remember, these were 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. And to leave a nice 1/8 border all the way around. Okay, we'll attach that to this one. Hey, okay, there we go. I'm loving the plaid on the front. That's super fun. Okay, so I'm watching. You guys, what are you thinking so far? Are you liking the card? Is this one that you're going to try to make yourself? After seeing it done, it's not so, it is easier than it looks, isn't it? Okay, let's take this now. This part can be a little bit tricky. We want to attach this to the inside of the card. So I'm going to use, again, my multi-purpose glue, and I'm using a little bit. I don't want a whole bunch because I don't want this seeping out. Okay. Now you can use your stamping seal too, but just make sure that you're getting it really close to the corners. So then what we want to do is we want to kind of put this in the spot where you want it. So I want to try and get mine centered, although if it's slightly off, it's not going to matter. It does, doesn't it, Terry? I know, it's awesome. I love how it highlights all those little triangles. Okay, so now once that's done, what we're going to do is we're going to close this flap down on it. Can you guys see what I'm doing? And it's going to grab in the glue, and then we just want to make sure, oops, that, like I'm doing here, I want to make sure that white paper is lined up directly on the edge of my card base flap here. Oops. And this is another reason why I use a multi-purpose. You could see how I was easily, my goodness, this is hard to do with a camera over me. All right, there we go. Okay, so that's nice and in place. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other one. This one is a little simpler. Just to do here. Okay, so now we're going to close this one down. This is going to close, and then we can close this flap, and it should, so it's just maybe a little minor alteration, it should close perfectly. Okay. Carrie's gonna try the tutorial and directions from the blog. Yes, and I'll also have a diagram there for you for the scoring. that I did on this mechanism piece. So you can remember that one as well. Now, in this case, I didn't glue the center down. I did on this one, so it's probably a little late for me to do that now, but it's really not going to go anywhere. So if you wanted to glue it down first, you could, but as you can see, the mechanism is still working without gluing the center down. So glue it or don't glue it, whichever you decide. And I'm loving this in Highland Heather. Okay, so there's our card mechanism. Now let's just finish up this front real quick. So I've got a piece here that measures 3 by, I believe, 4 1/4, if I remember right. Oh no, 3 by 4 1/2. And this one is 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. So always, well, not always, but usually a 1/4 inch smaller. So we've got Highland Heather and Smoky Slate. I have had so much fun creating with this Hippest Hippos all week long on my blog. I absolutely love it. It's an adorable stamp set, and you can earn it for free with a $60 order starting July 1st. So the stamp is one free item, and then the dies that I shared with you, those are another free item. So if you spend $120, then you can get them both, or you can split it up and order 60 and get one, and order 60 and get another, whatever you want to do. But seriously, they're one you're going to want to add to your stamp collection. Okay, then we've got another piece here of basic white, and this one, if I remember, let me just double check, 2 1/2 by 4. Yes, 2 1/2 by 4. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp in the corner before I attach it my other greeting that says, "Aw, you really are the best." And then remember, on the inside it says, "You're always on point." I think that's super cute, and I'm excited to send these cards off to somebody, and I think it would really be some super fun happy mail. So just right up there in the corner, I've stamped this with my black ink, and then I'm going to go ahead and attach it to my card. No, I'm actually not. I tricked you. I'm not going to do that. I am going to share with you what I've done. I've gone ahead and die cut these ahead of time again to save a bit of time. But here you can see I've cut out some water. And that was just used with a piece of a 1-inch strip by 2 1/2 of the Balmy Blue. And then I placed this die here right along the top and ran it through my stamp cut and emboss machine. And what's really nice is these all fit in the mini stamp and emboss machine. So it doesn't take up much room on your desk, and it's super simple to use. So we're going to do that, and if you look real close, you can see that it also, I don't know if you can, my camera's not focusing very well, but it also embosses some lines on there, so it's a super fun die. Then I've gone ahead and used this die here and cut out a little boat out of Smoky Slate. I've used this super cute one, little splashes. So I've got 3 little splashes, and then I've used this flower here, which cuts 2 flowers at once, out of polished pink. So I've got all those pre-cut just to save a bit of time, and we'll go ahead and assemble this card. So what I'm going to do first is attach the water, but watch what I'm doing. I'm only putting the adhesive on the water on the base, because I do want to tuck my boat in. Oh dear, I've got some smudges here, so maybe we're going to make, I don't want that smudge to be there. So I'm going to move my water down slightly to cover that smudge mark. Okay, then let's go ahead and put our hippo on. So we're going to stamp our hippo. And again, we're going to use this super cute guy holding the flower. It's super adorable. Okay, so we've got him stamped. Then of course we would go ahead and color him. And then just to show you how awesome these line up, here's the die that we would run through our stamp cut and emboss machine, cut him out effortlessly. But again, to save some time, I've gone ahead and I've done that already. So here is our hippo. Again, gray granite, Smoky Slate, a polished pink flower with his Highland Heather belly, and just a little bit of old olive on the leaf here. So that guy's all cut and ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put him, oh, you know what? I did use a dimensional. Woo! I did. I didn't make a card without one. I used 1 dimensional on this whole card. So what I've done, I've got my hippo here, and I'm going to put 1 dimensional, but let's finish this up first. I'm going to put the boat in where I want it. Oh my goodness, look how cute that is. I love it. Okay, so that's how I want this to end up, right? So what I'm going to do is pull this out, leave my hippo where he was, take just a wee bit of multi-purpose glue. I'm getting so excited. I get so excited when these cards turn out so cute, and I love these hippos. So we're going to stick this in here. Okay, we want our boat on a bit of an angle, just floating down the river here. And then I haven't glued my hippo down, right? I'm going to take my one single dimensional that I'm going to use, and I'm going to put it right here behind his head. And then that's how my hippo is attached. And I just love that it's a little extra dimension on the card, because I don't really like flat cards all that much, although sometimes they are called for. So there's our super cute hippo. So before we get any further, I'm going to attach that on here. What do you guys think? Are you loving this hippo? Are you going to have to add that to your stamping stash? It was honestly, it was the first thing I saw in that Celebration catalog, and it's right when you open it, and I knew I had to add that one to my cart for sure. So it wasn't hard to choose $60 worth of items out of that brand new catalog either. So, okay, how cute is that? Now I'm going to use my Take a Pick tool. These pieces are quite tiny, but they're worth the effort to put them on. I'm going to then take, let's flip them over properly. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to pick up these. This is one of the wonderful things about this tool. It is one of my favorite tools, but this is one thing I love very much about it, is that you can just pick up these little paper piecing pieces and attach it like so. And then I'm going to take this one here. Oh, Carrie's loving the hippo, and Gail's already ordered it. Yay! Gail's one of my team members, and as demonstrators, we get to order from this early, so it's super awesome as a little perk to get your hands on these super cute ones ahead of time and give us lots of time to play with them. Okay, oops, that one didn't work. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit more tricky. I'm going to attach that one right there. Awesome! Look at how cute that is. Doesn't that just add a little splash of water coming off the boat? Oh my goodness, I can't stop smiling. It's so adorable. Okay, now let's attach our little flower here. So we've got two sizes, you can see. We've got a small one and a larger one. I'm going to use a larger one here on the front of the card. I'm just going to put a dab of glue in the center. And I'm going to stick that right here on the boat. How adorable! And then on the inside of the card, I've got this one last flower. So if, again, a little tip, if I had another smudge of ink like I did before, I would use this somewhere here to cover it up, but I don't. So I'm going to just put a little dab of glue here in the center again. And I'm going to open up our card, and I'm going to stick this little flower just here in the corner. Oop. Stuck to my finger instead of the paper. Cute. Love it. Okay. It's coming together so nicely. All right, so the last thing we have to do is to attach our front to our gatefold. How cute is that? All right, so being very mindful that you do not want your adhesive to go beyond halfway mark, okay? In fact, you probably want it a little bit less than half. We don't want to glue our card shut after all that effort to make this beautiful card. So there we go. And then we're going to put that on there like so. And then once it's attached, really quickly, I'm going to open it and make sure, okay? Because I could tweak it a little if I had to. I'm making sure that that glue is not here. Okay, there we go. Ta-da! There is our Gatefold explosion card. So I'm super excited to have shared that with you, and there weren't very many bloopers. Actually, I think we did pretty good. I was a little worried, but yay! So fun. So as I mentioned, tomorrow on my blog, I will have the tutorial uploaded. The measurements will be there. The video will be there so you can watch it again, watch the replay, pause it, and stop it as needed. And I'll also have a diagram uploaded for the scoring to make this piece here. So you'll be able to find all of that information on tomorrow morning's blog post. It'll go live at just after midnight tonight. So it'll be there for you in the morning in your email if you subscribe to my emails in your inbox, to my posts in your inbox, I should say. If not, head on over to createwithbirdsnest.ca and you'll be able to find it all there. Most of the pictures will be of the original card, this petal pink, but the video will be of the super cute Highland Heather. So I'd love to see in the comments. Oh, look, you guys are all loving it. I love that. Awesome. So I would love to know which one you guys prefer. Do you like the purple or the petal pink better? I'm waiting to see your comments, and I'm just going to switch the view here. Okay, so hello again, and thank you all so very much for joining me tonight for this super fun fold. As I mentioned, at first it seems a little intimidating, but as you can see, it's really just a matter of getting those score lines and folds done, and then the card comes together so beautifully and quite simply. And it'll be a wow for anybody who receives it. So it looks like everybody's loving on the purple, as am I. I'll be honest, I love the purple one. I now want to go ahead and make one in pink, of course, but the purple is super cute. And like I mentioned before, I love coloring the belly of the hippos to coordinate them with whatever card design you're making. I have another super fun hippo card to share with you on my blog on Friday. This one's going to be a slimline card, so you guys have probably seen those all over Pinterest and all over the crafting world. They're the longer cards, the thin, long ones. Super cute, and it was a great way to get so many of these hippos on there, so be sure to check in on Friday on my blog. I'll be sharing that one there. And again, on Monday, I posted a card using the hippo as well. Super cute little tons of love card. So I hope that you guys will pop on over and take a look. I can't talk. Take a look. I love sharing these projects with you every week, and I love going back to choosing the product of the week. Do you guys like that? I think it's really cute to show different ideas using the same stamp set to show how versatile they all are. Gail says she didn't choose the pink. I know, me either. I chose Highland Heather as well because it really does just pop. I think it might be the gingham paper too because it really is fun. So there we go. All right, if you guys have any questions or anything, please leave me a comment, send me a message. I'm always happy to help. And again, if you need one of the catalogs and the celebration brochure, please reach out to me. I'd love to send one to you in the mail. I can send them anywhere in Canada. So just send me a message. And if you guys have anything else you'd like to talk to me about, just message away. All right, I will be taking orders for July 1st. So if there's anything that you guys want to order and let me know ahead of time, please let me know. I'm around all week. All right, guys. Cheers. Thanks for joining me.